of the A-Class non-wing cars. Leading them out, the 7H of Chase Ho from Odessa, Missouri. Behind him is the 38 of Dustin Galbraith from Charleston, Illinois. Also out there, the 11 of J.R. Carter, also from Charleston, Illinois. On the middle of the backstretch, the 211 of Danny Hayes, also from Charleston, Illinois, in that black and teal car. It looks like that's going to make up this second group, so not all 12 cars going to make their way out onto the racetrack. Only a few will take green flag laps. We're going here on the second group of the A-Class non-wing cars. Off into turn one, control goes to that number 7H, a Chase Ho from Odessa, Missouri. Everybody, again, single file. We'll see if anybody can find the pace here in group number 2. So far, not looking like it. Checkered flag is waving for that number 7H machine. As the rest of them come across the line, nobody able to go into the 10-second range. Clayton Apple will take quick time for the A-Class non-wing cars. Chase Ho was quick time in session 2 and second overall. And then Hunter Walker held on to his third place here in the hot lap sessions for the A-Class non-wing cars. They make their way off the racetrack, and behind them, down in the pit area, is going to be the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprints up next. 10 entries for these junior sprints tonight. And here they come out onto the racetrack. First one leading them out is going to be the 1Z of Xander LaRose from Festus, Missouri. Behind him in a similar color car, the 25P of Presley Hall from Des Lodge, Missouri. Going around them on the outside will be the 49 of Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois. Also out there, the D52 of Joseph Bonowitz from Oakland, Illinois. Off of turn number 4, you see the 95, Bentley Hopper from Charleston, Illinois. And finally, the car that stopped over there in turn number 2, over in turn number 1, will be Dylan Schaefer, also from Charleston, Illinois, in the 42 machine. That car obviously has had an issue and has come to a stop at the entrance to turn number 1. Track crew tending to the 42, trying to see what the issue is and if our car can continue for this hot lap session for these high caliber graphic junior sprints. Yeah, it looks like no dice there for Dylan Schaefer into the infield. That number 42 machine goes, so we're left with, looks like 5 cars out on the racetrack for the first group of the high caliber graphic junior sprints. They'll get the green as they come off of turn number 4 this time. Xander LaRose, the control car, he'll take the first green flag lap. As the last couple weeks, it's been all of that number 49 machine of Grayson Graham here at Coles County Speedway. We'll see what he can do in hot laps here early on tonight. White flag already out as they complete lap number 1. LaRose already up there with the lap times that he's going to need to have tonight. As they're going to come around, come into the checkered flag will be LaRose. Does improve on his lap time from lap 1, as does everybody else it looks like. But Xander LaRose looking to take quick time out of session number 1. It'll be a 12.654 for Xander LaRose. Grayson Graham just a little bit slower with a 12.706. Presley Hall with a 12.952 in third for now. One more group for the high caliber graphic junior sprints before we can move on to the next class. And here they come out onto the racetrack. Leading them out will be the number 8 machine. I believe that'd be Levi Ballard from Grimes, Iowa. Will be coming to the green this time. Behind Ballard will be the 7W of Willard Ballard from Madrid, Iowa. As they come to the green off of turn number 4, you'll see the 57 of Nolan Leone from Muhammad, Illinois in the orange-looking car. And also out there will be the 25B of Case Barnard from Dawson, Illinois. First lap times coming around in the books. Levi Ballard, top of the charts right away. And those lap times are much faster than anyone else we've seen so far. No one else able to break into the top 3 after the first lap. Let's see what Ballard does in lap number 2. Improves even further. See what the other Ballard does. Not quite into the top 3, but everybody does improve on lap number 2. Levi Ballard with a 12.184 will take quick time for the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprints. Xander LaRose in second, almost half a second behind with a 12.654. Grayson Graham third with a 12.706. So these High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprints going to make sure they meet minimum weight requirements down there on the scales before we can head to our next group, which is the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings. So already, we've already seen on this reconfigured track lap times definitely quicker than what they have been so far this year. We'll see if that continues to be the case with this Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing class. We will wait on the tower to give them the command to come out onto the racetrack now, as they confirm how many cars are back there in staging. And here they come, the first group of the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings out onto the racetrack. The 9 of Rowan Edgar from Farmington, Missouri leads them out. Behind him, Noah Mell in the 95M from Fairland, Indiana. Off into turn 1 will be the 88T of Tyler Taylor from Danville, Illinois. Also out there, the 16W, Hunter Walker from Decatur, Illinois, doing double duty once again. Along with him doing double duty is Liam Warren from Highland, Illinois, in that 22L, entering turn number 3. Caution lights are out. They'll be coming around to the green flag this time for the first hot lap session for the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings. Off at turn number 4, and the 9 gets the green. We'll watch Edgar here as he heads off into turn number 1. Move is using that middle groove. Everybody else around the bottom as they head off into turn number 1. And Edgar comes back down to the bottom of the racetrack to complete lap number 1 in the 10.5 range. Let's see what Mel does. Mel's in the 10.2 range. Everybody else definitely seeing that bottom groove working so far. See what Edgar does as he comes around to the checkered flag. See if he decides to move. No, he doesn't. He stays in the middle of the racetrack off in 1. But Noah Mel, quick time out of session number 1 for the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings, with a 10.227. Rowan Edgar second with a 10.373. Tyler Taylor third with a 10.489. 4 more Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings left to take times here in the hot lap session. We'll see if any of them can find the pace to beat Noah Mel here in the hot lap session. Onto the track comes group number 2. And leading them out will be the 11R of Harrison Robards, showing on my race pass as the 12R. Mr. Robards from Darning Prairie, Missouri. Also out there will be the 96 of Nate Casper from New Lenox, Illinois. Another driver running double duty. Robards' car coming to a stop on the backstretch for the second time in his hot lap sessions. Not having any luck in that number 11 machine tonight. Also out on the racetrack, if you've been here last year, you'll know this man very well. Braxton Flatt, Monmouth, Illinois, in the 81 machine. Won a bunch of races in the restrictor class last year. He's looking to make his first start this weekend here at Coles County Speedway. We'll see if he can continue that pace from last season in a different car this time, but we'll see if he can continue that pace in the A-Class cars this time. Robards still having issues keeping his car fired as he rolls down the front stretch. And off into turn 1 goes the number 11R. Our flagman, John Shipman, going to be looking around the racetrack, waiting for the command from the tower. Everybody looks like they're continuing to roll. And with that, we'll give them control as they come around off of turn number 4 this time. We'll see who gets it. It'll be the 81, Braxton Flatt, taking control. Off into turn 1 he goes. So he'll get the first lap time in. Harrison Robards into the infield once again. And Nate Casper with an issue into the infield as he rolls down the front stretch. Will stay green. We'll see what Braxton Flatt can do on his lap times. Obviously, in a new car from the restrictor car last year. He comes off of turn number 4. Checker flags waving. Goes 5th overall with a 10.598. Quick time for the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings will go to Noah Mell. Rowan Edgar and Tyler Taylor, the second and third place cars. Braxton Flatt going to head up over the scales. Make sure his car meets minimum weights before we head off into the dirty right rear restricted micro class hot laps. And we will wait on the command from our flagman to send this first group of the dirty right rear restricted micros onto the track. And here they come. Looks like 4 or 5 of them will come from the pit area to make up group number 1 for their 9 entries tonight. Riley Bonowitz from Oakland, Illinois leads them out in the white car with the purple wing. Off into turn number 1. Behind her will be the 14E of Emerson Kisner from Arlington, Illinois. Also out there, Forrest Holder in the 29 from Maryland Heights, Missouri. Yellow flag is out as tower was not ready for cars to be going already. Last car out on the racetrack, J.C. Sandridge from Springfield, Illinois. So now the caution lights will go out, and Willie will get the first green flag for the dirty right rear restricted micros. Off into one goes Bonowitz. She'll go to the middle group. Everybody else pretty much down towards the bottom of the racetrack. A couple drivers taking a little bit of a wider entry off into turn 1. Bonowitz slideways off of turn number 4. She keeps it headed in the right direction. Will stay green. First lap in the books for everybody. And it looks like Forrest Holder already one of the fast cars as they come around to the checkered flag, already catching the back of Riley Bonowitz. As they come across to the checkered flag, no one else faster than Forrest Holder. 10.959 for Forrest Holder. J.C. Sandridge almost into that 10-second range with an 11.007. And Emerson Kisner in third with an 11.289. Making up that first dirty right rear restricted micro hot lap session top 3. Second group will be coming out in just a moment. Once these cars come off the racetrack, Forrest Holder is going to want to check his car's weight. Forrest Holder, of course, just making sure his car meets the minimum weight requirements before we set this second group of the dirty right rear restricted micros out onto the racetrack. Second group of the dirty right rear restricted micros are on their way out onto the racetrack. Leading them out, the 49 of Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois. Been 2 for 2 under the dirty right rear restricted sponsorship this year. Seeing if he can make it 3 for 3 on the season tonight. Off of turn number 2, you'll see the 127 of Chase Ho once again doing double duty from Odessa, Missouri. Another car off of turn 2, Harrison Robards. Looks like he's just testing out his car, making sure he's all good. Also out there, the 71M Lydia May from Terre Haute, Indiana, off into turn 3. Off of turn 2, middle of the backstretch, you'll see the number 81, once again, Braxton Flatt, Monmouth, Illinois, looking to pick up his first dirty right rear restricted micro win tonight, as he did so often last year on that number 81 machine. See if he can take a win tonight here at Coles County Speedway before, of course, the big event next week, which is the King of Coles, presented by Lakeland College. So Robards just took a quick little install lap, as you would call it, over at the rectangle in Indianapolis. But for now, we're going to head the caution lights off. We're headed towards the green flag, seeing who's going to get control. It's looking like it's going to be Lydia May off of turn number 4. She'll have the first time lap of the session for the dirty right rear restricted micros hot lap group 2. Everybody dead on the bottom of the racetrack this time. Definitely a little bit of experimentation from everybody trying that entry to turn 1. Everybody looks like they're doing about the same as each other in turn 3 on the entry. So not much experimenting down on that end. Guess who's got quick time already? It's that number 81 machine, Braxton Flatt, already in the 10.6 range in his restricted micro tonight. And it looks like no one else going to come even within 0.2 of Mr. Braxton Flatt tonight. Braxton Flatt does take quick time in the dirty right rear restricted micro hot laps, 10.601. Grayson Graham second with a 10.822. And Forrest Holder third with a 10.959. So that'll do it for the dirty right rear restricted micros. Up next, we've got a new class to the Speedway. It's the Hornets. They're normally run over at Charleston Speedway, but with Charleston Speedway off, we've invited them out here to run here at Coles County tonight. So stock cars making their way out onto the racetrack, and here they come. Down the front stretch, leading them out, the number 77 of Matt Atkins from Tuscola, Illinois. He heads off to turn 1. Behind him will be the 28L of William Thomas from Greenup, Illinois. And the last car out there will be the B5 of Brandon Justice from Nyack, Illinois. So these drivers getting their first taste of the Speedway. I believe Atkins was here during the practice night, but these other two have not ever turned a lap here at Coles County Speedway, I believe. But they'll get the green flag as they work their way off of turn number 4. We'll see where they decide to run out on the racetrack tonight. Looking like a very wide entry for them, as it looks like they really like that high groove, a lot like what the sprint cars do here when they run here. Atkins sideways off of turn number 4, able to gather it up before he fires it off into turn 1. Definitely a lot of experimentation for everybody. So far, Brandon Justice's car looking the best out on the racetrack, really throwing it into the corners. Able to get his car super sideways, which is what is needed. He's going to get held up by William Thomas just a little bit before he can set a lap time he'll like. Quick time so far, of course, that B5. Brandon Justice 15.735. They'll come around to the checkered flag. Rolling that high groove, the number 77. Everybody keeping it pretty civil so far. Just kind of seeing what the track's going to do for them in the Hornets car. Brandon Justice quick time 15.735. Matt Atkins second with a 16.496. And William Thomas third with a 16.604. And that will do it for the Hornets. And that will do it for the hot lap sessions tonight. We should be taking a very brief break before we get to opening invocations here at the Speedway tonight. Actually, looks like Harrison Robar is going to take a quick hot lap session here, seeing if he got his issue sorted out. Be just a very quick session. It'll be an untimed session for him. Does his install lap, and back to the pits, Harrison Robards goes. So that will do it for hot laps now. They are complete. While we get ready for tonight's national anthem, we need the Spartan Transportation A-Class wings to staging. Spartan Transportation A-Class wings to staging. All right, race fans, it's that time. If we could please have you turn your attentions to the front stretch. And please rise and remove your caps for the national anthem as sung by Emerson Kisner.
Check, check.
Say, can you see?
Come up here.
Should I go up there? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we'd hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night flag was still there. Oh, say in the home of the brave.
Thank you. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. A-class wing to staging, A-class wing to staging. In the meantime, we saw another car having issues in the hot lap session on track. Dylan Schaefer in the 42 from Charleston, Illinois. Make sure his car is okay after he couldn't turn any laps in hot laps. So once again, him. And it does look like those issues are mostly sorted out on the number 42. And it looks like Dr. Dirt has completed his very brief track work there on the bottom of the racetrack, and it looks like we're just about ready to head racing with the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing cars. As we await for the first heat race of the Spartan Transportation A-Class wings to get underway. Actually, looks like we're looking for the 21V Danny Vicino out of the A-Class wing. We need you in staging. 21V, we need you to staging. So while we wait on the 21V to make its way up out onto the racetrack, we'd like to go ahead and thank some of the racetrack sponsors this year. Dirty Right Rear Podcast, of course, sponsoring A-Class, sponsoring the track in general. Kimstream Race Fuels, RS12 Motorsports, Spartan Transportation, High Caliber Graphics, Race Ranch Wear, Victory Seats, Strong Elevator, Strong Bookkeeping Solutions, Napa of Mattoon, Neoga, and Effingham, Duncan Windows, Racetech Titanium, Hyper Racing Midwest, Burromax, Cleveland Grain System, Express Employment Solutions, Driven Midwest, plus Global Logistics, Casey Summers, and Lakeland College. Thank you, all of these sponsors, for making racing happen here at the Speedway in 2025, and it looks like we are just about ready for heat race number 1 for the Spartan Transportation A-Class wings. And it sounds like, unfortunately, the 21V Danny Vicino not going to be able to make the start of this race. And here they come out onto the racetrack for heat race number 1. Rowan Edgar from Farmington, Missouri in the 9 starts on pole. Tyler Taylor from Danville, Illinois in the 88T starts second. Noah Mell from Fairland, Indiana from the 95 will start third. Nate Casper from New Lenox, Illinois in the 96 starting in fourth. Of course, the non-starter Danny Vicino starting in third. We will not be going green this time. We're going green next time around. But Danny Vicino from Terre Haute, Indiana, course, not making the start of this race. 1 to go signal given to the Spartan Transportation A-Class wings as they head off into turn number 1. The caution lights will extinguish, and command will be given to the front row when they come up to the start cone up at turn number 4. Rowan Edgar, Tyler Taylor going to bring them off of turn number 4. Past the start cone, we're green on the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing. Heat race number 1. Contact between the front two. Taylor sideways. Tyler with an issue. His car slowing as they head up into turn number 3. The top 3 get away and they get single file. We're still green for now. We'll see if Taylor can keep his car headed in the right direction and see if he makes his way off the racetrack. Looks like he will be just about able to do it. and we stay green here in the first Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing Heat Race. Rowan Edgar pulling away from Nate Casper and Noah Mel behind him. They stay single file. Mel right around that berm on the bottom of the racetrack in 3. Everybody else about half a groove up the racetrack. And so far, Rowan Edgar still pulling lap times quicker than second plate Nate Casper, as Casper starting to fall away into the hands of Noah Mel for the second spot. Rowan Edgar a second and a half advantage as he hems around to complete lap number 5. Mel to the inside for second on Casper. Contact made again. They'll head back to turn 1, single file. Now Mel maybe getting a little bit frustrated with Casper. See what he can do on the inside of turn 4 here. Can't quite do it. Not enough there. 3 to go for Rowan Edgar and Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing Heat Race number 1. They remain single file. White flag in the air this time for Edgar. They roll off into turn number 1. Everybody still single file. Edgar with over a straightaway advantage is going to come across to the checkered flag on Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing Heat Race number 1. And they will finish where they were running on the racetrack. Casper second, Noah Mel in third. Mel looks like he may have hit a rut down there in the entry to turn 3. Could not take advantage of Nate Casper sliding up the racetrack just a little bit. And, of course, Tyler Taylor completing only 1 lap and out of the race. For the first non-finisher, Danny Vicino, of course, the non-starter. Now, top 3, going to head up over the scales, make sure their cars meet minimum weight requirements. And then it'll be time for Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing Heat Race number 2. Looks like we're and Casper's good as well. So coming up, heat race number 2, 4 entries for the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing Heat Race number 2. Hunter Walker from Decatur, Illinois in the 16W will lead them to green. Braxton Flatt from Monmouth, Illinois in the 81 will start in second. Harrison Robards from Darien Prairie, Missouri will start in third in the 12R if his car is ready to go. Not seeing it down there in the pit area, so those issues we saw at Hot Laps still have not been resolved, it looks like. And then Liam Warren from Highland, Illinois in the 22L will start in a fourth, but it looks like he may be promoted to third if Robards cannot make the start of heat race number 2 for the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wings. And it looks like that will not be the case for Harrison Robards. It's like, yeah, unfortunately just not going to make the start of this heat race. So it looks like crew's still trying to work out the issues underneath the hood of that number 11R machine. Caution lights are out. We're headed green first time around. We'll see what Braxton Flatt can do in this A-Class wing car. Like I've mentioned before earlier in the night, very good in the restrictor car. We'll see what he can do in the A-Class wing car. Hunter Walker, Braxton Flatt, the front row. Liam Warren behind them as they come to the start cone. We're green on Spartan Transportation A-Class wing heat race number 2. Flatt gets in line as they head off into turn 1 behind Walker. Single file. Everybody running lap times consistent of the position they are in right now. Hunter Walker going even faster, up to a 10.5 lap time. He's out to a second advantage over Braxton Flatt and Liam Warren as they come to complete the halfway mark of the race. 4 laps down, 4 to go for Hunter Walker in that 16W as he rolls off turn number 2. Everybody rolling up the racetrack just a little bit higher on entry. Hunter Walker definitely not down there by the berm. The other 2 cars would be Warren and Flatt, saving it, their cars right on the berm. But Walker letting that car slide out just a little bit. It's allowing that current car to turn a little bit better. He's down to a 10.3 lap time now in that 16W. Everybody holding position for now. White flag waving for Hunter Walker in the 16W. Braxton Flatt side him will be Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois in the 49. Starting in third will be Xander LaRose from Festus, Missouri in the 1Z. Starting at fourth will be Joe Bonowitz from Oakland, Illinois in the D52. And finally, starting out in the final starting position is going to be Brentley Hopper from Charleston, Illinois in the 95 in fifth. We'll wait for the command from the tower for heat race number 1 for the high caliber graphic junior sprints to make their way out onto the racetrack. Might be waiting on just a car or 2 before we can get going. Command's been given. They're ready to bring these high caliber graphic junior sprints heat race number 1 out onto the racetrack. should be getting the one to go right away as they head off into turn number 1. They sit nice and organized. So you already see that bottom groove already getting worn in by our first class of the night. These high caliber graphic junior sprints, class number 2. Once again, Case Barnard, Grayson Graham, the front row as they come up to the start cone. And green flags waving on high caliber graphic junior sprints. Heat race number 1. Single file goes the front 2, but it's side by side for second as they head off into turn 1. Xander LaRose with a great jump takes second away. He'll look right away on the leader, Case Barnard, as they roll off of turn number 4. But Xander LaRose already going to have Grayson Graham all over the back bumper of him. They work it out as they head down into turn 1. Still single file under a blanket of the top 3. Off into turn 3 they roll. That leader, Barnard, gets a little bit high off the corner. That allows the 2 behind him to get ever so closer. A little bit of bumping going on as they head down into turn 1. No harm, no foul. 3 wide for the lead very briefly down the backstretch. Xander LaRose to the inside. He'll take the lead away. He'll lead a lap here in heat race number 1 for the high caliber graphic junior sprints, but right away that 49 Grayson Graham trying to take that spot away, looking to the inside of turn 3 after a little bit of bumping, but no harm, no foul. LaRose high off the corner off of turn number 4. Barnard still is not quite there to try to fight back for his second place position. Still the front 2 under a blanket. Graham, LaRose back to turn 3. 3 laps to go for LaRose to try to defend his lead here in heat race number 1 for the high caliber graphic junior sprints. He'll get high again off of turn number 2. He'll keep it a little bit more organized this time. He's starting to put down the lap times he needs to keep that number 49 at Grayson Graham behind him. 2 to go for Xander LaRose. Off into turn 1 once again. Field still single file as they start to approach lap traffic. We'll see if it'll be a factor here on the final lap as they come off of turn number 4. Looks like it will. White flags waving for Xander LaRose. Lap traffic gets down to the inside of the racetrack. LaRose gets by cleanly. Graham can't quite get by as cleanly as LaRose. That'll allow LaRose to get a couple car lengths advantage. And off at turn number 4, Xander LaRose takes the high caliber graphic junior sprints heat race number 1. Second will go to Grayson Graham. Tried everything in his power, just could not get by that 1Z as Xander LaRose. Case Barnard, tough break for him. Got swallowed up by the faster cars behind him. He'll finish in 3rd. Joe Bonowitz 4th. Bentley Hopper in 5th. So once again, top 3 cars headed up over the scales as required by the Coles County Speedway rulebook. And he's race number 2 for the high caliber graphic junior sprints will be on the racetrack shortly. On the pole for heat race number 2, going to be Presley Hall from Des Lodge, Missouri in the 25P. In second will be Willard Ballard from Madrid, Iowa in the 7W. Levi Ballard will start 3rd from Grimes, Iowa in the 8. Nolan Leone will start in 4th from Mahomet, Illinois in the 57. And 5th will be Dylan Schaefer from Charleston, Illinois in the 42. Once again, we'll wait on the command from the tower before we can send heat race number 2 out onto the racetrack for the high caliber graphic junior sprints. And here they come out onto the racetrack after the command has been given. All 5 making it out onto the racetrack. So it looks like Schaefer's issues have been solved, at least for now. Everybody will make their way out onto the racetrack now and get organized as they receive the 1-to-go signal for heat race number 2 of the high caliber graphic junior sprints. Caution lights extinguished as it'll be Presley Hall and Willard Ballard headed off towards the start cone up in turn number 4. Green flags waving on heat race number 2 for the high caliber graphic junior sprints. Hall gets a terrible start, and behind her 2 cars will go on by. It'll be that 7W Willard Ballard and Levi Ballard making their way through already. Leading lap number 1, who's it going to be? It'll be Willard Ballard. But right away, Levi will take that spot away as they head off into turn number 2. Now single file of the top 4 as they begin to put down the pace they need out on the racetrack. That number 8 machine of Levi Ballard already pulling away from Willard Ballard behind him. It looks like this might be the story of this heat race as everybody else running just like the first couple of heat races tonight. Everybody running the pace they're running right now. Still with 5 laps to go, coming to 4 to go for Levi Ballard already navigating the lap traffic of Dylan Schaefer as they head off into turn number 1. Everybody looks like they're going to try to get through cleanly on the high side around that 42 machine. But still, that number 8 machine of Levi Ballard, fastest car out on the racetrack without a doubt. He continues to put down those lap times as he comes around at 2 to go this time. He's got about a corner advantage over the 7W of Willard Ballard. Willard Ballard has about half a straightaway advantage to third place, Presley Hall. Coming to the white flag this time, that number 8 machine of Levi Ballard, dominating performance so far in the high caliber graphic junior sprint heat race number 2 as he rolls off turn 2 into turn number 3 for the final time. Comes that red number 8. And off of turn 4, checkered flag waves for Levi Ballard, taking the second high caliber graphic junior sprint heat race win. Willard Ballard second. Third will go to Presley Hall. Fourth will go to Dolan Leone. Fifth, Dylan Schaefer. Up next will be the A-Class non-wing cars. Another pair of heat races for them, for their 12 entries tonight. So, Hull will be the last car to be weighed. Make sure that car meets minimum weight requirements. And she'll make her way off the racetrack, which will allow heat race number 1 for the A-Class non-wing cars to come on out. Once they get the command from the tower, on the pole will be Parker Bump from Fairland, Indiana, the 51B. Alongside him will be Lucas Easton from Tuscola, Illinois, in the 4th. All right, so we're going to race stack them and try it again. Into turn 1, this time still sideways. Into turn 1, this time still sideways. That number 21B, such a strange issue for Vicino. That never seems to be an issue for him. That right rear tire just does not want to stay on the racetrack as he goes down into turn number 1. But in the meantime, still that 51B of Parker Bubb leading the way easily over the field. In second will be Hunter Walker, still defending from Nate Casper out behind him. Vicino still trying to keep that car with all 4 tires down on the racetrack, still struggling. That left rear tire, earlier I said right rear. It's the left rear tire. You can watch as he gets down into turn 1. That left rear picks up into the air. Such a weird situation for a micro. 2 to go, however, for Parker Bupp with a extending advantage. About a second now for that 51B. He rolls off at turn number 4. White flag waving this time. He's got himself a pretty decent-sized lead here on heat race number 1 for the A-Class non-wings, and it looks like this is going to be how they are going to finish. As he rolls off at turn number 4, it'll be Parker Bubb taking the A-Class non-wing heat race number 1 victory. Second place will go to Hunter Walker. Third will go to Nate Casper, and fourth will go to an ill-handling Danny Vicino. Non-starters in that race, Lucas Easton and Harrison Robards. Bupp will be the last car to be weighed, and then it'll be time for A-Class non-wing heat race number 2. On the pole will be Clayton Apple from Oakland, Illinois in the 6. Alongside him will be Dustin Graubuth from Charleston, Illinois in the 38. Liam Warren from Highland, Illinois in the 22 starts 3rd. Chase Ho from Odessa, Missouri in the 7H starts in 4th. Danny Hayes starts 5th from Charleston, Illinois in the 211. And J.R. Carter, also from Charleston, Illinois in the 11, starts in 6th. Again, this is heat race number 2 for the A-Class non-wing cars. This will be the last heat race for the A non-wing cars. Once again, waiting on the command from the tower. Make sure we're all good on the timing and scoring side. And got the command from the tower. Heat race number 2 for the A-Class non-wing cars coming out onto the racetrack. Here they come. Clayton Apple once again on the pole. Alongside him, Dustin Galbraith, Liam Warren, Chase Ho, Danny Hayes, J.R. Carter, the rest of the field. See, only 5 cars out on the racetrack. Hunter Walker looks like couldn't get the wing off in time to make it out into this one. So caution lights are out. It'll be the front row of Clayton Apple and Dustin Galbraith coming to the start cone. We're green here on heat race number 2 for the A-Class non-wing cars. Apple gets a great jump. Will get the field single file. Galbraith sideways up over the berm. Somehow managing to stay on all fours, and the caution will come out. I must say, I think that car is cursed here at this racetrack, because last year it ran one race, broke the steering in the heat race. Then last week, under Dustin Galbraith, now under a new owner, that 38 machine now it is, broke the steering again last week in the hot lap sessions. And now, once again, on lap number 1 of a heat race, it ends up sideways in turn number 2. So the field will get double file as we go to a complete race restart. And it looks like Dustin Galbraith going to check out his car, seeing if he's going to be able to continue on. Field will come double file as they come down the front stretch. Everybody will get back into their starting positions. Galbraith is going to try to maybe, I think he's going to stay at the rear this time. As we will let Tower sort this out. Danny Hayes is going to get alongside. He's telling them they want to be double file. That's what he's pointing to. They're trying to get that number 22, Liam Warren, I think, up to the outside of row 1. Yes, they are. So Galbraith to the tail, looks like. Hayes will go to the outside of row number 2, and caution lights will extinguish for A-Class non-wing heat race number 2. The new front row, Clayton Apple and the 22 of Liam Warren. 8 laps to go here in the A non-wing heat race number 2. Off of turn number 4 is the restart cone. Green flags waving. A-Class non-wing heat race number 2 back under green. They'll get single file as they come off turn number 2. Couple car lengths separate each car. So far, leader Clayton Apple leads lap number 1. Behind him, Liam Warren. Just got a car length behind him, and then a car length behind Warren is the 211 of Danny Hayes, as they will work their way up into turn 3. Hayes on the back bumper of Warren, looking for that second spot as they both go to the middle groove in turn 1. Into the inside will go Hayes off of turn number 2. Can't quite get the run down there as Warren throws the block. Warren still holding on to that second spot for now. 5 laps to go for Clayton Apple out in front. Warren and Hayes, a little bit of contact off of turn number 2. No harm, no foul as they keep headed in the right direction. This is going to allow Apple to get by. Hayes finally gets alongside, takes away the second spot. Off into turn 1, he will be clear. And he's going to see if he has any pace to see if he can chase down Clayton Apple in the closing laps. 3 to go for Apple. Hayes in second. Third, Liam Warren as he's back on the back bumper of Danny Hayes, not letting him get away. 2 to go this time for the race leaders. Hayes holding on to second as Liam Warren gets sideways off of turn number 4. Warren will now have Ho right behind him. That 7H car, white flag waving to Clayton Apple this time, as Apple will work his way to the outside of the lapped car of Galbraith. Galbraith staying down on the bottom of the racetrack, letting those leaders work on by him. Checkered flags waving for Clayton Apple, taking the A-Class non-wing heat race number 2 victory. Second will go to Danny Hayes from the 5th starting position. Third will go to Liam Warren. Chase Ho 4th, and then Dustin Galbraith in 5th. J.R. Carter did not make the start. Up next will be the dirty right rear restricted micros pair of heat races. So Warren will be the last car headed up over the scales. He looks good. And coming up next will be the dirty right rear restricted micros. On the pole will be Braxton Flatt from Monmouth, Illinois in the 81. Alongside Braxton will be Emerson Kisner from Armington, Illinois in the 14E. Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois in the 49 starts in third. Riley Bonowitz from Oakland, Illinois in the 11R starts in fourth. And Lydia May rounds out the field in the fifth and final starting position from Terre Haute, Indiana in the 71M. Once again, this is your dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. As I mentioned before, it's been nothing but the Grayson Graham story so far under the dirty right rear restricted micro name. We'll see, can Braxton Flatt be the first driver to knock him off here tonight? We'll see it. These two will go to battle here early on tonight here in heat race number 1. See if they can continue to race each other hard all night long. We're going to go around one more time. It looks like, not going to be ready here on the backstretch. They'll get one to go as they come around off of turn number 4 this time. So Flatt with control of the field as they roll off of turn number 4. One to go, signal given. Caution lights are out as they head off into turn number 1. Braxton Flatt, Emerson Kisner, once again the front row. Behind them, Grayson Graham, Riley Bonowitz, Lydia May behind them. Up to the start cone, we're green on the dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. The two fastest cars in hot laps get away and cautions out. Once again, Tower did not like the start. We'll re-rack him and try it again. Definitely looked like Flatt may have gone a little bit early there. So with this, we'll re-rack him, try it again. For 8 laps in the dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. Braxton Flatt, Emerson Kisner, the front row. They'll stay side by side as they head up into turn number 3. Looking for the start cone up at turn number 4. Flatt with control, Emerson alongside. Here they come, and here they go. Green flags waving on the dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. It's a great start for Graham, who gets alongside Flatt. A little bit of contact, but they will stay single file as they come off turn number 2 into turn number 3. Flatt still on the point as he leads lap number 1. Graham sitting in line behind him, fading back. Graham knew that was really his only shot at Braxton Flatt in this heat race, and it has gone away. Braxton Flatt already down in the 12.8 range. Graham in the 13.0 range. Caution will come out for Riley Bonowitz getting beached up on the berm in turn number 3. So 2 official laps down here in the dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. Flatt will be the leader. Behind him will be Grayson Graham, then Emerson Kisner, Lydia May, and then Riley Bonowitz when she gets unstuck from the berm. Track crew still working on Bonowitz to get her off the berm. Looks like they just about will be able to do it. And she will refire and join back up on the tail end of the field. Once again, it'll be 6 laps remaining here in heat race number 1 for the dirty right rear restricted micros. Bonowitz still had to get a little bit of help getting her engine refired. She'll get it refired, and away she'll go to try to tag on to the tail end of the field. Be probably one more pace lap after this one. And we will get the 1 to go signal. Not going green this time, going green next time by. That's our flagman, John Shipman. Will be giving them the 1 to go. This time by as they come off turn number 4. Once again, it'll be Braxton Flat leading them back to green. Behind him will be Jason Graham, Emerson Kisner, Lydia May, and Riley Bonowitz. Caution lights are out as they head off of turn number 2. Braxton Flat with control. We'll see where he takes the field as he approaches the restart cone up at turn number 4. He'll head up towards the top side of the racetrack. On the gas are the front 2. Green flags waving once again on the dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. Graham all over the back bumper of Flat as they come around into turn 3, back for the first time under green, but Flat is able to keep the gas in it, and he's starting to pull away already. May to the inside of Kinsner as Kisner fades back into 4th. Lydia May up to 3rd. See if Lydia May can find some pace to chase down Grayson Graham, but this is likely how they're going to finish as they run. 4 laps to go for Braxton Flat as he leads the way as he comes off turn number 4. 3 to go for that 81 machine off into turn number 1. Single file as they come to 2 to go for Braxton Flat in that number 81 machine. Grayson Graham, nothing for him out back. White flag waving for Braxton Flat. Lydia May have been closing in just a little bit, but too little too late. Just out of time for Lydia May. But off of turn number 4, it's Braxton Flat shaking the checkered flag here on the dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. Second will go to Grayson Graham. 3rd, Lydia May. 4th, Emerson Kisner. And coming across the line in 5th, Riley Bonowitz in that number 11R. So per the rules, once again, the top 3 are headed back up over the scales. Make sure all those cars meet minimum weight requirements as they roll back to the pit area. Up next will be dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 2. On the pole for heat race number 2 at the dirty right rear restricted micros is Coles Jones from Streeter, Illinois, that number 17. Forrest Holder from Maryland Heights, Missouri, the 29 starts alongside him on the front row. In 3rd will be J.C. Stanridge from Springfield, Illinois in the 10, and Chase Ho from Odessa, Missouri in the 127 will start in 4th. This is once again your dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 2. Off into 1, the field will see an extinguished caution light. That means they're headed green next time by. Cole Jones, pretty good here on the restricted micro. See what he can do here in heat race number 1. Across the start cone, we're green here in dirty right rear restricted micro heat race number 1. Side by side for the lead down to 1. It'll be that number 29, a Forrest Holder, taking the advantage off of turn number 2. Single file for now as they complete lap number 1. Jones with about a car advantage back to Stanridge in 3rd. Stanridge trying to set in line as Jones starting to pull away just a little bit. Stanridge really throws it in there to turn 3. There's a little bit on the exit, but got a ton on entry on Cole Jones. See what Cole Jones does differently down here in turn 3. Goes to the bottom this time. A little bit tighter entry that does not allow Stanridge to get anywhere near the back bumper of the 17 of Cole Jones. That battle for second still ongoing as Forrest Holder pulling away from them. And then back in a 4th, you've got the 127 of Chase Ho watching these two do a battle for second. Jones and Stanridge. Jones sideways as he tries to get a tear-off off. He just about is able to do so and hold on to his position. He got that tear-off stuck on his helmet, it looked like. Really had to wrestle it off, keeping Stanridge behind him. Coming to 2 to go for Forrest Holder, though, as he's continuing to dominate here in heat race number 2 of the dirty right rear restricted micros. Jones still holding on to second as Stanridge looking all over the back bumper, looking for a hole in the defense of Jones. White flag for Holder this time as he heads off to turn 1. J.C. Stanridge looking for the opportunity into 1 this time, trying to get alongside off of turn number 2. Not going to happen. Checkered flags waving for Forrest Holder, taking the heat race number 2 win on the dirty right rear restricted micros. Cole Jones just able to hold on to second. J.C. Stanridge will have to settle for a third, and Chase Ho will end up in a fourth. Up next will be the Hornets for their first heat race at Coles County Speedway. So again, top 3 headed up over the scales for the micros. Once the top 3 make sure they're good, and it looks like they are, they'll come off the racetrack. And of course, as I mentioned just a moment ago, Hornets coming out onto the racetrack in just a moment. On the pole will be William Thomas from Greenup, Illinois in the 28L. Alongside him will be Brandon Justice from Nyack, Illinois in the B5. Then Matt Atkins from Tuscola, Illinois in the 77 starting in third. This will be your Hornet field for tonight. That's your starting order for heat race number 1 for the Hornets. Command has been given, and here come the stock cars down onto the racetrack for the second time tonight, this time for a heat race. They will get double file as they head off into turn number 1. We'll see the differing strategies as they take the green flag for the first time under a heat race here at Coles County Speedway. Once again, William Thomas, Brandon Justice, the front row and control. Lining up behind Brandon Thomas will be Matt Atkins in third. Up to the start cone they come. Green flags waving on the Hornet heat race. We're green down into turn 1. They're side by side for the lead. That number 5 with a great start will take the lead away from William Thomas. Brandon Justice still getting his car to turn so much better than these other guys out behind him. As they come around, complete lap number 1. They get a little bit of contact on the front stretch there. William Thomas pinching Matt Atkins up towards the outside wall. We'll see if Atkins can work his way around that number 28, going alongside again on the front stretch. See if he can keep the nose in this time. Isn't quite alongside down the front stretch, getting single file now for second. Now we'll try to the inside of turn number 3. Thomas on the outside, Atkins on the inside. Atkins muscling his way up the racetrack just a little bit of contact. And the 77 will go on through for second. Matt Atkins up to second. William Thomas back to third. He's going to try to find a way to get his car to turn a little bit better. See if he can try to chase back down Matt Atkins to take that second spot back away. But for now, with 4 laps to go, that number 5 of Brandon Justice doing so much better out on the racetrack right now. He seemed to got that setup nailed in that B5 machine as he heads off into turn number 1 once again. Now Matt Atkins in some clean air, going to finally find some pace underneath that number 77. See if that story will change for him later on in the future. But for now, with 2 laps to go, it's been all Brandon Justice as he heads back off into turn number 1 with 2 laps to go. Now Atkins getting away from the 28L William Thomas. White flag waving this time for the B5 of Brandon Justice as he heads off to turn 1 with about a track advantage. As everybody else comes to the white flag, little over half a track advantage for that B5 of Brandon Justice as he comes off turn number 4 this time. He'll take the heat race win in the Hornets. Off of turn number 4 will be the 77 now. Matt Atkins coming across the line in second. See if he has any pace in the feature later tonight in his second place starting spot. And then in third will be William Thomas in the 28L. So that'll do it for the first Hornet heat race here at Coles County Speedway. Now, coming up next will be the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprints feature before we head to intermission. All right, Hornets are off the racetrack. Coming up next, high caliber graphic junior sprints feature 15 laps for the junior sprints. On the poles, Xander LaRose in the 1Z from Festus, Missouri. Levi Ballard in second from Grimes, Iowa in the 87. Third, Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois in the 49. Fourth will be Willard Ballard from Madrid, Iowa in the 7W. Rounding out the top five will be Case Barnard from Dawson, Illinois in the 25B. Presley Hall starts sixth from Des Moines, Missouri in the 25P. Joe Bonowitz from Oakland, Illinois in the D52 starts in seventh. Nolan Leone eighth from Mahomet, Illinois in the 57. Brentley Hopper from Charleston, Illinois in the 95 starts ninth. And Dylan Schaefer rounds out the field in the 10th and final starting spot in the 42, also from Charleston, Illinois. So again, this is your high caliber graphic junior sprint feature. Towers giving them just a little bit of time to get a little bit more organized down in the pit area, looks like, before we send them out onto the racetrack for their 15-lap feature. Still waiting on the command from the tower before we can get these high caliber graphic junior sprints out onto the racetrack. While we wait on these high caliber graphic junior sprints to get ready, we'll run you back through the starting order once again. Front row, Xander LaRose, Levi Ballard. Row 2, Grayson Graham, Willard Ballard. Row 3, Case Barnard, Presley Hall. Row number 4, made up of Joe Bonowitz and Nolan Leone. Row 5 will be Brentley Hopper and Dylan Schaefer. Sounds like Tower is ready to go. The high caliber graphic junior sprints coming out onto the racetrack in just a moment for the first feature of the night. And the leaders got the command to come on out to the racetrack. And here they come, the high caliber graphic junior sprints for feature number 1 of the night. 15 laps once again for these junior sprints, as they will work their way. Give them a couple pace laps as they come back together and get organized for the 15-lap feature tonight. Looks like most of them make them out onto the racetrack with that issue. Looks like Dylan Schaefer may not be out there, unfortunately for him. Nope, finally makes it out of the racetrack, that number 42, but issues might have come back up for Dylan Schaefer. See him trying to get the engine refired. He's trying to pull his car down to the infield. Desperately trying to get that car fired. He's going to come to a stop on the front stretch, headed off into turn number 1. Track crew trying to help Dylan Schaefer get fired again. Looks like they'll get it, and it looks like it died again right away. So those issues we saw earlier in the hot laps have reemerged for Dylan Schaefer. We'll see if track crew will give him one more attempt to try to keep the engine fired, or if he'll head towards the infield this time. He'll get the engine fired. It looks like it'll stay fired as he comes off turn number 2. It looks like it may have unfortunately died once again. That engine on that D50, on that 42, excuse me, does not want to stay fired. So now he'll get help with a push from the track crew. And I would imagine they're going to pull it down to the infield this time. So unfortunate luck for Dylan Schaefer, and then the teammate car, the 95, a Bentley Hopper, looking like he's having an issue too. So as a team, that team's struggling to keep the engines fired on their race cars right now. We did see that 95 had a little bit of a bobble in the hot laps earlier, but hasn't had an issue since. It looks like the issues for both of those team cars have reemerged, and they will likely not be able to continue on and race in this high caliber graphic junior sprint feature. The race control has asked that Bentley Hopper, the 95, coming on down to the infield, as the rest of the field will be out there for the 15-lap feature. Xander LaRose, Levi Ballard, row 1 as they get the 1-to-go signal. Grayson Graham, Willard Ballard, row 2. Case Barnard, Presley Hall, row 3. Joe Bonowitz, Nolan Leone, row number 4. The 8 high-caliber graphic junior sprint still out there, coming around to the start cone for the first feature of the night. Xander LaRose is on the gas as they come to the start cone. Green flags waving. They're already 3 wide further back in the pack. The 25s come together, and the caution will come out right away on lap number 1 of the high caliber graphic junior sprint feature. Presley Hall, Case Barnard coming together on the front stretch. Ends up with Presley Hall headed the wrong way. Yeah, she'll wait for the field to pass on by before she'll get the car turned around. And headed back in the right direction, they'll tag back into the field for a race restart, as we did not complete a lap under green. And 1-to-go signal given once again for this field, with both the 25s to the tail now for being involved in the incident. It'll be once again Xander LaRose, Levi Ballard, the front row, as they come to the green once again for the high caliber graphic junior sprint feature. They're 2-3 wide down into turn number 1. They get it organized, but they're going to be almost 3 wide for the lead as Ballard and LaRose are side by side off into turn number 3. Still side by side, little bit of contact as Ballard will go on through for the lead. Now Graham to the inside of LaRose for second as they come around back into turn number 3 to complete lap number 2. Graham going to muscle LaRose up the racetrack, just a little bit more contact for LaRose on that left front tire, but no harm, no foul. He keeps headed in the right direction now. He's got the other Ballard right behind him on his rear bumper. Levi pulling away from Grayson Graham already. Xander LaRose fades back into third under a blanket for second. Are Ballard, LaRose, and Graham as they roll off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 4. Still those three under a blanket for second. Case Barnard getting to the inside of Nolan Leone for the 6th spot, taking that away as they head off into turn number 1. Still that battle for second ongoing as that number 8 of Levi Ballard continuing to pull away almost out to a 3-second advantage now as he comes around to complete lap number 6. Now a car length advantage for Grayson Graham over Xander LaRose. LaRose, however, still has Willard Ballard all over his back bumper. Willard going to look for a hole in the defense of Xander LaRose as they roll back into turn number 3. And LaRose gets a little bit sideways off of turn number 4. And luckily, Willard is not close enough to the back end of LaRose to try to take that third spot away just yet. But we'll see if it can happen off turn 4 this time. No, Willard not able to get to the inside of LaRose just yet. Gives him a little bump, lets him know that Ballard is there. Meanwhile, Levi Ballard still pulling away from the field. As they complete lap number 9, 5.1 second advantage for Levi. Still come to 5 to go this time, that number 8. Grayson Graham now has Xander LaRose all over the back bumper for second. Still this battle for second, 3-car battle. As everybody else single file with a couple cars between them. Levi starting to work his way up towards lap traffic with a huge advantage over the field. But he can definitely take it easier than he needs to right now. Still, Xander LaRose trying to work on Grayson Graham for second. See if he'll have a shot into turn 3 this time. Not quite going to have the shot as we'll look to the inside again off of turn number 4. Down to turn 1. LaRose is there alongside. That'll get LaRose through to second, and that'll also pull Willard Ballard through. On into third. Graham fights back to the inside off of turn number 4, but they're going to be 3 wide for second. It will be Willard Ballard taking it away as the white flag waves for Levi Ballard. Graham fades back to third. LaRose fighting back toward the inside as they come to the white flag for second. Off of turn number 4, however, with a almost full track advantage, it's Levi Ballard taking the win on the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature. As they come off of turn number 4, that 3-car battle for second finally comes to an end with Willard Ballard taking advantage in the closing laps to finish in second. Grayson Graham third, Xander LaRose fourth, then Joe Bonowitz fifth, then Case Barnard, Neil Leone, Presley Hall, the other finishers 1 lap down. And then, of course, you have Brentley Hopper and Dylan Schaefer, the 2 non-starters in the High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature. Levi Ballard headed up over the scales. Make sure his car meets minimum weight requirements before he heads off into victory lane here at Coles County Speedway. It's his first start of the year here at Coles County. Last time he was here was on September 7th. Finished third that night of last year. Last win came on September 6th of 2024. But now it's Levi Ballard's time here in 2025. It's his car into victory lane here at Coles County Speedway. And he's out of the race car. Let's give a big round of applause to Levi Ballard, your High Caliber Graphic Junior Sprint feature winner at Coles County Speedway. And after that dominating performance by Levi Ballard in your high caliber graphic junior sprint feature, we're going to head for a short intermission before we get the under features underway for the rest of the night. If you're at the racetrack, check out our concession stand down on the north side of the facility. They've got some great food and drink down there at the concession stands. We'll be right back here from Coles County Speedway after intermission. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. A-class wing to staging, A-class wing to staging. All right, race fans, it's feature time once again here at Coles County Speedway. Up first, after the intermissions, the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing cars, which are on track. Nate Casper on the pole from New Lenox, Illinois, the 96. Alongside him, Rowan Edgar from Farmington, Missouri, in the 9. Hunter Walker starts third, Braxton Flatt fourth. Fifth will be Noah Mell. Sixth, Liam Warren. Seventh, Harrison Robards. 8th, Tyler Taylor, and 9th, Danny Vicino. This is once again your Spartan Transportation A-Class wing feature. I'm just going to go around, looks like one more time before we get the command to give the one-to-go signal. Sure enough, they're going to come around. They're going to get the one-to-go signal this time by. And we are about to head racing once again with the Spartan Transportation A-Class wings. 15 laps once again for this feature. All 9 cars out on the racetrack. Excuse me, we are missing one car. That would be Harrison Robards. It's going to be the first, not only non-starter out of this feature tonight. Here they come. Nate Casper, Rowan Edgar going to lead the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing feature to the start cone. We're green on the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing feature into turn number 1. Casper up on the berm, getting up a little bit into the outside in contact with Rowan Edgar as the field gets single file down into turn number 3. Braxton Flatt keeping Noah Mell on his outside. He pinches him up to the outside wall, forces Mell to back out of it for 4th. Mell fires it back off of turn number 2, takes that 4th spot away from Braxton Flatt. Flatt fires it back down on the inside off the crossover move. Not enough to retake 4th place. Cautions out for a stop to Danny Vicino up in turn number 4 by this restart cone. So Vicino's issues continue tonight. Very tough break for Danny in that number 21V machine. He will be likely out of this feature, it looks like. He's checking his steering. On the coming restart, Nate Casper in the 96 will be leading them back to green. Hunter Walker, 16W in second. Rowan Edgar in the 9, third. Noah Mell in the 95M, 4th. Braxton Flatt in the 81, 5th. 6th is the 88T of Tyler Taylor. 7th, Liam Ward in the 22L. And 8th, if Danny Vicino can get refired, will be him in the 21V. He's going to roll off towards turn 1. We'll see if he decides to catch back up to the tail end of the field or if he takes the left-hand turn down into the infield as they work their way off of turn number 2. Looks like Vicino calling it a quits here after 2 laps. Tough break for Danny Vicino tonight in the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing feature. Have 13 laps left to go to do battle. Nate Casper, Hunter Walker, Rowan Edgar are the top 3 in the coming restart. They work their way off of turn number 2. This will be Rowan Edgar's in third, his first time here. The other 2 guys in here quite a bit. Nate Casper brings them back to green past the restart cone into turn 1. He's got a couple car length advantage. Has the rest of the field in tow behind him. Flat to the inside of Mell. Can't take away that 4th spot off the restart. Instead, it's Edgar and Walker battling it out for second out behind race leader Nate Casper. He easily pulls away from them by 2, 3 car lengths down the back stretch and off of the turn number 4. He's got about a second advantage already. In fact, it's over a second advantage over Hunter Walker as Hunter Walker has himself Rowan Edgar all over the back bumper. Braxton Flatt trying desperately to keep Tyler Taylor behind him and hold on to that top 5 spot for now. But here comes Tyler Taylor up to 5th. He fights back to the inside as Flatt. Flatt just does not have the same speed and on the straightaways as these other race cars out on the racetrack right now. And obviously that's definitely hurting Braxton Flatt's attempts here at a victory in the Spartan Transportation A-Class wing feature. Still, Nate Casper up out front by almost a second now over Hunter Walker. Hunter Walker starting to reel him back in. See what he can do here with 7 laps to go. Pace about the same as the front 2 right now. Walker maybe about a 10th faster than race leader Nate Casper. Rowan Edgar hanging tight right there with Hunter Walker as they head back into turn number 1 as the field stays single file. Coming to 5 laps to go this time for Casper. Casper's advantage down to just under a second as Hunter Walker starting to work his way up towards the back bumper, but I don't know if he's got enough time to get there as Walker has that number 9 of Rowan Edgar right up on his back bumper still. Coming to 3 laps to go this time for Nate Casper. He's got the pace he needs to hold on to his advantage for now. Back to over a second advantage over Walker in second. Hunter Walker just has to sit here, see what he can do with 2 laps to go. If he wants to have a shot at this win, needs a caution now, and I think the field's just a little bit too far separated to find an incident as they come around to the white flag this time. It will be Nate Casper taking it with over a second advantage over second place Hunter Walker. Off into turn 2 for the final time and into turns 3 and 4. Nate Casper off of 4 going to take the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing feature win tonight at Coles County Speedway. Hunter Walker will have to settle for a second place finish. Rowan Edgar 3rd, Noah Mell 4th, Tyler Taylor 5th, Braxton Flatt 6th, Liam Moore in 7th, Danny Vicino out on lap 2, and Harrison Robards the non-starter. Nate Casper's car going up over the scales. Looks like it's all good for him down there. He'll head into victory lane. A winner tonight in the Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing feature. And here he comes out of the car. Let's give a big round of applause to Nate Casper from New Lenox, Illinois, your Spartan Transportation A-Class Wing feature winner. So as Nate Casper makes his way off the racetrack, a feature winner tonight, that'll allow for the dirty right rear restricted micros to make their way out onto the racetrack. On the pole for the dirty right rear restricted micro feature is Forrest Holder from Maryland Heights, Missouri in the 29. Alongside him, Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois in the 49. Lydia May starts 3rd from Terre Haute, Indiana in the 71M. Starting 4th from Streator, Illinois, it's Cole Jones in the 17. Riding out the top 5 will be J.C. Stanridge from Springfield, Illinois in the 10. 6th will be Chase Ho from Modesta, Missouri in the 127. 7th will be Emerson Kisner from Armington, Illinois in the 14E. 8th will be Riley Bonowitz from Oakland, Illinois in the 11R. Rounding up the field in the 9th and final starting spot will be Braxton Flatt from Monmouth, Illinois in the 81. This is your dirty right rear restricted micro feature starting lineup. Looks like we had a little bit of an issue with getting my race pass all sorted out. Looks like we've got it all figured out, so the dirty right rear restricted micro is on track for their 15-lap feature. Again, the front row, Forrest Holder, Grayson Graham. Row 2, Lydia Mae, Cole Jones. Row 3, J.C. Stanridge, Chase Ho. Row 4, Emerson Kisner, Riley Bodowitz. And row 5, all by himself, Braxton Flatt. Field will come around to the one-to-go signal this time. Braxton Flatt was sent to the tail of this feature for a technical violation. Failed to show up for tech inspection in this restricted class. Showed up in the tech inspection for the A class, but did not show up in restricted class. That's why he's at the tail of this field. So we'll see what Braxton Flatt can do. But for now, it's Forrest Holder, Grayson Graham, the front row for the dirty right rear restricted micro feature as they're green down into turn 1. Great jump there for Grayson Graham. Out in front and away. Waiting on race control to decide if we're going to go yellow here or not. I don't think we are. We will stay green. Race control liked the restart just enough to stay green. This is going to be a great jump for Grayson Graham out to almost a second advantage over Forrest Holder. Lydia Mae in line further back in third, trying to hold off J.C. Stanridge for now. Don't look now, but here comes Braxton Flatt through the field. He's already picked off 3 cars. He's looking on his 4th car ready. Cautions out as Riley Bonowitz goes for the spin up at turn number 2. So tough break there for Braxton Flatt. He'd already picked off his 3rd car, but since that 3rd car was the lap the caution came out, it does not count for him. He'll drop back into 7th. So he's going to have to pass that 127 to Chase Ho again. Track crew looking at Riley Bonowitz's car. She's still stopped up there at the top of turn number 2. And it looks like Riley going to call it a night here. Maybe. Nope, it looks like she got it refired, at least. She's going to try to tag on in at the tail end of the field. Field will come to 1 to go this time with 13 laps to go in the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. Grayson Graham will lead him back to the green. Forrest Holder 2nd, Lydia Mae 3rd, J.C. Stanridge 4th, Cole Jones 5th, Chase Ho 6th, Braxton Flatt 7th, Emerson Kisner 8th, Riley Bonowitz back in 9th. Caution lights are out for the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. Grayson Graham, where does he bring the field on the coming restart? He goes up high, diving at the restart cone. Forrest Holder thought he had a great jump, has to back out of it. Green flags waving back again on the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. Field stays single file as Bonowitz goes for a spin again up at turn number 2 as we'll bring the caution back out. And we'll try it again. So Bonowitz spun in the same spot as she did to bring out the first caution, so she'll bring out the second caution of the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. It'll be the same restart order we just did. So caution lights will be extinguished as the field heads off into turn number 1. Once again, your top 3, Grayson Graham, Forrest Holder, Lydia Mae on the coming restart. We'll see if Forrest Holder can get a better restart this time. Grayson Graham up to the top of the racetrack, diving at the restart cone. We're back green on the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. Field stays single file. Flatt already picks one off at the tail end of the field. He's trying to march his way forward. Once he marches forward, he's going to need another caution to bring the field back together to have a shot at this feature win, I would think, at this point. flat, already working on Cole Jones for about the 5th spot. Looking to the inside of Jones into 3. Can't quite make that move stick as Holder gets a little sideways off 4. Allows Lydia May to get on the back bumper for 2nd. Out in front, still Grayson Graham, a 2.5 advantage, is now flat stuck in the dirty air. Can't get to the inside of Cole Jones. He's going to try it again. He'll try the outside this time at turns 3 and 4 and does not have the car up there on the high side to try to contend with that middle groove just yet. We'll see if he tries to make another move to the inside. To 1 on Cole Jones. Still can't take that 5th spot away. Coming to 8 to go this time. That 49 of Grayson Graham just past the halfway point next time by. Still Forrest Holder 2nd, Lydia May 3rd. Flat finally gets to the inside of Jones. They're going to be side by side off 2. Jones backs out of it. Lets Flat go on by. Now Stanridge will come on up into 4th as caution comes out for Riley Bonowitz. Spinning again, this time up at turn number 2 and getting stuck on the berm. Now Emerson Kinsler also with an issue stopping at the top of turn 2. So the track crew pushes Bonowitz's car into the infield. Her night is done. Here at the completion of lap number 7. Track crew now working on Emerson Kisner's car. So they look at what is wrong with that number 14 machine. It's like track crew's still trying to help her get refired. See if Emerson Kisner can get the engine fired once again on the number 14E. Off of turn 2 with the push. And it looks like Kisner will not be able to get refired. So she'll head to the infield with 8 laps completed on her book. Caution lights are out. Grayson Graham going to lead him back to green. Forrest Holder, Lydia May in line behind them. J.C. Stanridge, Braxton Flat, the top 5. It's exactly what Flat needed now. He probably needs just one more and a couple laps. Here we go. Back to the green we go. On the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. A little bit of contact there from Holder on race leader Grayson Graham. As they headed off of turn number 4, Holder tried to take advantage, and now here comes Flat taking advantage of the sloppy restart by the field in front of him. He's to the inside of J.C. Stanridge for 4th, into 1. See if he can take it away. Yes, he can. He'll get single file behind Lydia May as they roll off into turn number 3. Flat to the inside off of turn number 4. Has to back out of it. They get loose in front of him. Now Jones to the inside of Stanridge for 5th. Stanridge fights back with the crossover on the exit. 4 laps to go for race leader Grayson Graham. As Stanridge out in front of Jones now. They're the 5th spot. Flat in line in 4th. Looking to the inside of Lydia May for 3rd. With 3 laps to go for that number 81 machine time. It's just simply run out for the field on this feature. 2 to go this time for Grayson Graham with an impressive lead at this point of 2.7 seconds as he works off of turn number 4 to the white flag this time. Grayson Graham with the white flag for the dirty right rear restricted micro feature. Rest of the field single file. Flat still working on May for 3rd. Out behind the race leader. He'll have one more shot in 3, but off of turn number 4 is Grayson Graham taking the dirty right rear restricted micro feature win. Forrest Holder is able to hold on for 2nd. Lydia May just about holds on to 3rd. Braxton Flat 4th. 5th will go to J.C. Stanridge. 6th was Cole Jones, 7th Chase Ho, 8th Emerson Kisner, and 9th Riley Bonowitz. Both Bonowitz and Kisner were non-finishers. So Grayson Graham now at this point 3 for 3 under the Dirty Right Rear sponsorship in this class. It's not been beat yet, that number 49 machine. And he'll head up over the scales. Grayson Graham up over the scales, and he'll head for victory lane here at Coles County Speedway. Here he comes out of the car. Let's give a big round of applause to your Dirty Right Rear Restricted Micro Feature winner, Grayson Graham from Bunker Hill, Illinois. And Grayson Graham will make his way off the racetrack, winning 3 weekends in a row for that number 49, that Driven Midwest number 49. That'll allow for the non-wing cars to come out onto the racetrack for their 15-lap feature up next. On the pole is going to be Hunter Walker from Decatur, Illinois, in the 16W. Danny Hayes from Charleston, Illinois, in the 211 starts in second. Parker Bupp in the 51B from Fairland, Indiana, starts third. Clayton Apple in the 6th from Oakland, Illinois, starts fourth. Nate Casper rounds out the top 5 in the 96 car from New Lenox, Illinois. 6th will be Liam Warren from Highland, Illinois, in the 22. 7th will be Danny Vicino from Terre Haute, Indiana, in the 21V. 8th will be Chase Ho from Odessa, Missouri, in the 7H. 9th will be Lucas Easton from Tuscola, Illinois, in the 14 car. Rounding out the top 10 will be Dustin Galbraith from Charleston, Illinois, in the 38. Then back on the final row, 11th will be Harrison Robards from Dardine Perry, Missouri, in the 11R. And rounding out the field in the 12th and final starting position will be J.R. Carter from Charleston, Illinois, in the 11. Once again, this is your A-Class non-wing feature for 15 laps. And here they come out onto the racetrack as they're given the command. Likely going to have 2 pace laps, I would think. It's almost coming out like in 2 groups. So, yeah, we'll definitely have 2 pace laps here. One to go, signal given as the field heads off into turn number 1. We're headed green next time by on the A-Class non-wing feature. 12 drivers would have been the entire entry field, but we're down to less than almost half of that, as it will be Hunter Walker and Danny Hayes on the front row coming to the green. We're green on the A-Class non-wing feature. Into one, Parker Bupp gets to the inside looking for second. Can't quite take it away. Danny Hayes holds on to second for now. Single file the front two. Third, Clayton Apple already looking on Parker Bupp. As everybody else still single file in the front half. A little bit of contact in the back for Liam Warren as Justin Galbraith pulls off the racetrack. Still single file up out in front. Liam Warren fading back. As Parker Bupp gets to the inside of Danny Hayes. A little bit of contact into one. Now we'll have Clayton Apple to the inside looking for third. Can't take it away down there in four. Also coming through are going to be Chase Ho looking for the fourth spot at Clayton Apple. Apple will shut the doors to head off into three, but battle up front is brewing. Danny Hayes to the outside of Hunter Walker. He's going to try to power around on the exit of two. Can't do it down there. We'll have to back it up and try it again here on turns 3 and 4 in. Hunter Walker throws the block again down the front stretch as they head up on the exit of turn 2. Hayes makes a little bit of contact on the rear bumper. Hunter Walker lets him know he's there. Hayes to the outside of turn number 4. Has to back out of it again. Just does not have the nose alongside far enough for Hunter Walker not to shut the door on him. 9 laps to go. Liam Warren goes for a spin up in turn number 2. Caution will come out and will reset the field. So that gives Hunter Walker the breather he desperately needed with 9 laps to go. Had Danny Hayes all over the back bumper of him. So he's going to hope he can do a little bit better on this coming restart. Liam Warren has the track crew looking over him as he gets his car refired. And he will try to tag back in on the tail end of the field. Maybe not a lot of front left lean to that car. I think he may be done. And making the decision to stay out there, Liam Warren. 9 laps to go in the A-Class non-wing feature. 6 down, 9 to go. The coming restart, Hunter Walker going to be leading them back to green. Danny Hayes second. Parker Bupp third. Clayton Apple fourth. Chase Ho fifth. And then Liam Warren tagging on at the tail end of the field in sixth. Up to the restart cone. Hunter Walker's already on the gas. I would think we're going to call him back here. Yes, we will. Hunter Walker just went way too early before the restart cone. So we'll give him another shot at it. 9 laps to go. Hunter Walker likely going to bring the field back up to the top of the racetrack like he did last time. Hunter Walker on point. Danny Hayes right behind him. Parker Bupp sitting in the wings in third. Green flag waving on the A-Class non-wing feature once again. Hunter Walker out in front still. Hayes tries to cut to the inside. Can't get alongside. That allows Bupp to get into the fight for second. Bupp to the inside of Hayes off of 4. Can't not quite stay alongside as Hayes will power back through to second. Single file the field. Warren trying that top groove out. Not finding any pace up there to try to chase down Chase Ho for the 5th spot. Still single file the field as they complete their second lap under green after the restart. 7 to go in the feature. Still out in front. Hunter Walker over Danny Hayes. As Walker moves up the racetrack just a little bit, finding that pace again in his race car. Hayes not quite there pace-wise. They're pretty equal that last lap. 6 to go, coming to 5 to go for Hunter Walker. His car goes straight on the exit of 4. He's got a problem with his race car. He's going to try to reel it back in as he heads off into turn number 1. He just about holds on to the lead. And he's going to come to 4 to go this time. And he's got a hungry Danny Hayes and Parker Bupp right behind him. Clayton Apple getting in that fight as well. Now Hunter Walker, that issue strikes again. That allows Danny Hayes to go by. Parker Bupp goes by. He'll get down and block Clayton Apple off of turn number 4. Danny Hayes to the point with 3 laps to go in the A non-wing feature. Bupp to the inside with the slider. Danny Hayes with the crossover back to the inside into 1. Bupp led the last lap. Caution will come out as Liam Warren will bring out the caution with a spin up in turn number 3. And this will bring it to a green-white checkered restart. Bump with control of the field with just 2 laps to go on the A non-wing feature. The question is, what can Danny Hayes do at this point? Is the pace there on the 211 to get around Parker Bump's 51B on the coming restart? Will they get together? Will Hunter Walker make his way by the front two? A lot of questions on the coming restart going to be answered with a green-white checkered finish on the A non-wing feature as Liam Warren into the infield for the final time. This will likely be the final restart as they come to 1 to go. Liam Warren is actually going to make his way back out onto the racetrack. So we will not go 1 to green this time. We'll give him 1 more lap. Warren, I think, checking out his race car before they come back to green. Caution lights will be out. They will give the 1 to go. Parker Bump, Danny Hayes, Hunter Walker the top 3. Clayton Apple behind them. Chase Ho, Liam Warren the field. As Parker Bump up to the top of the racetrack at the restart cone. We're back green on the A-Class non-wing feature on a green-white checkered. Hayes looking to the inside of Bump. It's going to take a slider to have a chance to get around that 51B. Coming around off of turn 4 this time. White flag waving for Parker Bump. The gap of car length as they head off into turn number 1 for the race lead. Here they come off of turn 2 for the final time. Hayes fading back a little bit. He throws it into 3. But it will be Parker Bump using the bottom of the racetrack to take the A-Class non-wing feature win over Danny Hayes, who finishes in 2nd. Hunter Walker just about holds on to 3rd. Clayton Apple 4th. Liam Warren recovered to a 5th place finish. Chase Ho 6th. Dustin Galbraith out of the race in 7th. Nate Casper, Danny Vicino, Lucas Easton, Harrison Robards, J.R. Carter, the non-starters in this one. Parker Bump into victory lane after headed over in the scales. It's come so close so many times already this year. Typically runs just the non-wing cars, not the A-Class non-wings, and he is celebrating in that number 51B into victory lane. Finishes here at Coles County this way, a 3rd, a 2nd, and a 2nd in the non-wing class. He finally finds the mark here in the A-Class non-wing car. That is a much-deserved win for Parker Bump, coming from 3rd to 1st in the A-Class non-wing feature. He's already out of the car. Let's give a big round of applause to Parker Bump from Fairland, Indiana, your A-Class non-wing feature winner at Coles County Speedway. So Parker Bump off the racetrack, finally a feature winner at Coles County Speedway 2025. Up next, the Hornets. Their 3 entries running 15 laps. On the pole will be the B5 of Brandon Justice from Niantic, Illinois. Alongside him will be William Thomas from Greenup, Illinois, the 28L. And third will be Matt Atkins from Tuscola, Illinois, in the 77. Once again, your Hornets starting lineup for the feature. And here they come out onto the racetrack, the final feature of the night. It's the Hornets. Looks like William Thomas elected to head towards the tail, allow Matt Atkins by into the outside front row. So Atkins will start second, Thomas third. 15 laps for the Hornets for the first time in a feature here at Coles County Speedway. Brennan Justice, Matt Atkins, William Thomas, the field as they head towards the start cone, looking for the green flag. We're racing on the Hornet feature at Coles County Speedway. Atkins gets a great jump. He'll be alongside into one. So does that 28L of William Thomas. He got himself a pretty good jump as well, but they'll get single file as they head off turn number 2. Brennan Justice with a good jump as well will lead lap number 1. Car bouncing just a little bit as he heads off into corner entry, but he's got a pretty good turning race car once again. Matt Atkins, see what he can do. He sits behind Brandon Justice single file. See if he can find the pace of that number 77 to try to chase down the race leader. Not so far. A 1.8 second advantage already made up by Brandon Justice. Justin rounds turn 4. That allows Atkins running a little bit of a lower line than Brandon Justice, who is the race leader down on the bottom of the racetrack. Atkins running that middle to high line, really ripping the top. And that number 77, he's finding the pace he needs so far. Clawed back 2/10 that last lap. See if Matt Atkins can continue to claw into that 1.25 second lead. Now it is 1.5 seconds for Brandon Justice, finding that pace once again. Still back in third, maybe with an issue, that 28L of William Thomas. He will pull it down to the infield. His race is done. That will leave just the 2 front runners, Brandon Justice, Matt Atkins out there competing for the Hornets win at the halfway point. Atkins just set his fastest lap of the race, a 13.5. Brandon Justice, that last lap, 13.8. See if Brandon Justice can continue to put down lap times he needs, or is it going to be Matt Atkins? Atkins really high off the corner, off of turn number 4. Brandon Justice still turning the lap times he needs to keep that number 77 about a second behind him. Off of turn 4, 6 laps to go this time for Brandon Justice into turn 1. Still running a pretty consistent lap time of about 13.689 for Brandon Justice. Matt Atkins in around a 13.7 every lap. Atkins still trying to find that pace as he fades to a little over a second and a half behind race leader Brandon Justice with 5 laps to go. Into turn 1 with 4 laps to go. Still Brandon Justice on the point. Gap still increasing for that B5 machine as he rolls off of turn number 4. Just finding that little bit of extra pace over Matt Atkins. The gap now 2 seconds with 3 laps to go. Brandon Justice, 2 laps to go for that B5 on the first Hornet feature at Coles County Speedway. Brandon Justice with a little over 2 second lead will collect the white flag this time by and head off into turn number 1 for the final time. Still bouncing that left rear up into the air. Still, it turns a little bit better than Matt Atkins, and that's just about going to be enough. Brandon Justice off of turn number 4 is going to take the first Hornet feature at Coles County Speedway. Matt Atkins in second, almost 3 seconds behind Brandon Justice, and then William Thomas was the non-finisher after completing just 5 laps. Brandon Justice into victory lane. First Hornet into victory lane here at Coles County Speedway. Here he is, climbing out of the car, Brandon Justice from Nyack, Illinois, your Hornet feature winner at Coles County Speedway. And with the Hornet feature over with, that will conclude tonight's racing here at Coles County Speedway. We hope everyone enjoyed it, and we hope we see you back next week for the King of Coles event Friday and Saturday nights, presented by Lakeland College. Again, if you can't make it to the racetrack, you can always tune in on your favorite Roku device on WFO TV. And until we see you next time, I hope to see you next week here at Coles County Speedway.